kind of the society to grow up. I mean, it's to grow up for not so much. I mean, the kids will grow up anyway. I mean, but I think this film more talks about the grown-ups have to grow up. I mean, the state has to grow up because. I mean, the problems which kind of arise in this film is because, I don't know, it's some kind of infantile stage of a developed society. You know, where there is no communication between the state and its citizens with the parents and their children. And so, yeah, the growing up theme is like, for me at least, it's one of the core kind of messages to kind of look at ourselves in the mirror, or let's say from the side, and to actually, you know, have a moment of thinking, something like that. I don't know if it sounds logical in English, but to kind of stop for a moment and think where we are. Because I think most of the problems there happen that everyone just is like running somewhere, and I think it's very important for us. I mean, Latvia, I mean Eastern Europe, probably Western Europe also, but especially Latvia, I think it's at a stage where it has no real aim anymore, and it's I mean, what we see now, what's happening in Ukraine, which is like, you know, like not so far, and I think there the main problem is that there was this loss of communication between the East and the West, and we have the same. I mean, you know, it's we have a huge Russian speaking population, like it's like 35%. And I'm really worried, you know, that similar kind of division could take place. I mean, obviously it's more kind of cultivated through politics. You know, in real life, daily life, you kind of don't feel this divide. But there is a danger that it could happen, especially what we see now, what's happening in Ukraine, and obviously there could be some provocations and stuff. So I mean, I think it's a really important stage for us. I mean, Latvia, the Baltic states especially, Estonia and Lithuania also, that you know, we kind of have to stick together, and we have to respect everyone who lives there, and then so that these chances of division or dividing is kind of ruled out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm interested now that you've talked about the film representing society in general. One of the things that I found from it is that the whole atmosphere of the location was grim and kind of what we imagine in Canada as, you know, the totalitarian Soviet Union sort of imprint on this nation. Is that what Latvia is like, or was this, you know, did you find this one location because there's this one suburb that was built as a Stalinist?
No, it is like that.
Okay.
It is.
No, I mean there's like several parts. I mean, the film happens in Riga, the capital. I mean, there's several parts. I mean, obviously you have the old town, which is like Prague style, but then the outskirts is like totally like Soviet style buildings, and so. I mean, it's slowly they're starting to kind of renovate stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's the feeling I have every autumn that everything is grim and it's depressing, and you know, it's like you want to escape. So, but I think that it has also an effect on people. You know, that there's
Everyone felt shut down.
yeah. That's a good observation, I think. But I mean, you know, it depends actually on the time of the year. You know, how you feel in Latvia.
Right.
Because I mean, this happens in winter, yeah, and it's and in winter, I mean, it's especially in autumn, it's like depressing and so on. But in the summer, it's actually great.
Right.
You know, so I think Latvians are very kind of their mood are swinging all the time. You know, it's like, oh great, it's summer, oh, it's been, you know, winter. So yeah.
We relate as Canadians.
Yes, go ahead.
So, so in the script, I saw like there was the girl was talking about learning Russian. You know, you were mentioning Russian. You said that there, you know, maybe 30%. I imagine you wrote the script. You did the movie before the problems in the Ukraine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm just curious. Do you think if you were to write it today, you know, with what's going on, do you think it would be a stronger message, a latent message there about the Russians? It's out of curiosity.
That's a good question. I don't know. I wrote it. I started writing the story in 2011. I finished it when end of 2012. But I don't think it would have been much more different today, because I mean my aim was to kind of show that these two kind of groups live next to each other, and you know, I mean, there's scenes where one speaks Russian, one speaks Latvian, and they both understand each other, and that's how it is. You know, I mean, I'm the generation already who didn't have to learn Russian in school, so my Russian is like, you know, bad. I learned it just from like